guys, welcome back. Today we're just gonna look at some random stuff I picked up this last couple weeks. Not a huge amount of comics, I got about 5 here. Um, but we'll take a look at what we have here. First thing, very random. I had to take my daughter over to Five Below yesterday because she had a birthday party she was going to, and it was Sanrio themed. I guess the girl likes cinnamon roll, so we went over there because they have a Sanrio, section, and we were looking around. We looked at basically everything for the heck of it. But they had this Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi, and I just like this cute little, I don't know if it's not leather, but it's got that look to it, like an older book. And it was, I think if I remember right, it was printed like this year. So yeah, 2025. So not a old version or anything, but I thought that was worth a pickup. I love the samurai era of Japan. Who doesn't? So this is just a translation of the original book, which I've heard of. So, but swords and samurai sounded cool, so I thought I'd pick it up, especially since it was only $5. And honestly, it has a good amount of depictions and stuff. It's got a good amount of block prints and things like that. So I thought that was worth picking up and just taking a look. I mean, that's some pretty, sizable depictions of stuff. So I picked that one up. They had some other, old editions, like Sense and Sensibility. They had the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I almost picked up that one. They had a Greek mythology book and a few others, but this one was the one that kind of, tickled my fancy at the time, so I got that. Another random pickup. Went to Target today to get a couple things, and I always go to the pop section just to look, and today they had one of these. This is Superman, I guess a fall convention limited edition, and it's Kingdom Come Superman. So he's got the black S, and he's got the gray hair on the sides. I've always loved this look for him. And also, it's one of those where it's more stylized. So they have the effect you would see in the comics with the crash or the cross hatching and the shading. So they've put that onto the figure. I have a Green Arrow Kyle Rayner figure like this. I think it's supposed to be from Grant Morrison's JLA run. But when I saw this, I was like, ooh, okay, gonna pick up a pop today. I try not to as much anymore because I have a whole wall of pops at work. The back wall of my cubicle is literally just boxes of pops, like a Target display almost. So I try only to pick them up when it's something, specifically that really jumps out at me. So this fit the bill. I'll probably be taking him out and putting him probably over with my magic cards, just because I want to have this one out. So, and then the comic books I tried to get. I was trying to get a couple things this week, and only one of them was there. So we have Imperial number 4. This seems like it's been going on for a while, doesn't it? I am not picking up any of the like side stories or the other miniseries by other writers. I'm just picking up the main book by Hickman. God, this is $6.99. Jesus, is this the last one? Because that's expensive. I mean, $6.99. Come on, $5.99 is what I'm paying for DC for like premium covers. $6.99. God, no wonder they're pricing themselves out of new readers to an extent. But picked up Imperial. I have not read any of these yet. I'm waiting till it's all done. I guess I'll have to check and see if this is the last one or not, because it's $6.99, and I'm kind of thinking maybe it is. It looks a little thicker. So I picked this up. I also wanted to pick up Superman Red and Blue, which was a one-shot. But when I went to the comic book store on, I think it was Thursday or Friday, because we've been busy at work, they didn't have a copy. They didn't have a single copy, which I'm not sure if that means they didn't get any, because that's the comic book store. The comic book store I go to is normally pretty well loaded up. So for them to have none, I don't know, that seemed like maybe they didn't order any. They had plenty of everything else that had come out this week, so that was a little weird. If it shows up next week, I'll pick one up. Let's see, and then for last week, we have Superman number 31, going on with the Darkseid Legion. This cover was just really cool. I mean, it's got the two Legion members with the Darkseid symbol. Darkseid. You got Superman flying up through the middle. I don't recognize this signature here, but whoever did it, it's a really like beautiful painterly style to it, So probably not going to be picking up the main title Superman too much longer. I know it's going into the KO stuff, which looks honestly pretty. I don't know, this KO event looks really stupid. I mean, just straight up. I think DC too often is chasing big events, and they don't give the titles room to breathe, because it's just when you're getting into a title, they'll have to do something for an event, and it kind of the train is off the rails. I mean, Marvel does that too, but I find they don't seem to be doing it as much. I mean, I picked up all of the last Captain America run. There was nothing about Imperial. There's nothing in Marvel I'm picking up right now that's like cross-contaminating with Imperial. It seems like for Marvel they kind of keep it self-contained, or they make this is the offshoot where it's like Imperial X-Men or something, but they don't really mess with the main titles as much. Whereas with DC, it's always like, you'll see the branding of the miniseries on the mainline title. And whether you want it to or not, it kind of offshoots into whatever event is going on. Case in point, I was reading Wonder Woman, and they had it was a tie-in issue for some event that was like last year, because I'm, reading them late, and thankfully Tom King was able to work his way around it, but it was just kind of shoehorned in, and it didn't feel necessary. So here you go. Let's see, next we have Absolute Wonder Woman number 13. I had planned to stop this after the Minotaur issue, but then I liked the series, so keeping going with that. They had quite a few. DC in general now, honestly, has quite a few different covers. just chose the regular one. Nothing was like super jumping out at me as far as the premium covers went. But I do like the options, I guess. I mean, the main covers don't suck. Most of the time, it's the interior artist, but they do. Your dollar for those premium covers does feel like you're getting something like, especially artsier, like they went the extra mile. So let's see, we have Captain Henry in the Graveyard of Time by Mike Mignola. Picked this one up. I love Mike Mignola's Hellboy universe. Now that the main BPRD title is done, I try to pick up Hellboy stuff when it comes out. So it's honestly, it's kind of hit or miss. It's like if I see the solicitation, then I'll try to remember to get it. But sometimes my comic book shop doesn't order too many more than what they need. So thankfully they had 2 or 3 issues of this, so I picked this cover with God, I'm trying to remember his name. The Ectoplasm guy. It's been a long time. At some point when I organize my comic collection better, I need to put all the BPRD and Hellboy stuff in one or multiple probably multiple long boxes or short boxes, so it's all in like order. But I love Mike Mignola's artwork and that universe. And then last but not least, well, I don't know because I didn't read the first issue yet. I'll get around to that. I started picking up Detective Comics just because it was a new creative team with Tom Taylor and Michael Janin. So I figured I'd give that a try and see what it's. I mean, Batman's always entertaining, so I'm picking up the Batman by who is it? It's God. My brain used to be so in tune with comics, I could just rattle stuff off, and as I'm collecting less, I notice that my faculties as far as pulling those names out of the blue is going. It's probably age too. I mean, when you're in your 20s and stuff, you got all the brain power in the world to be remembering all these minutia. Now that I got 2 kids and a full-time job and everything, I've got other things I need to remember. Can't remember who's on Batman right now. I know it's a early aughts guy that I liked, and so I'm picking it up. Anyways, Detective Comics. This is part 2 of their run, so I thought I'd give it a try. We got Mr. Terrific, that's always a plus. And Michael Janin was on Tom King's Batman for so long. I do like his work. It always looks very stylized. You can always tell a Michael Janin artwork. All his faces are very like, I don't know, like his Bruce and Bruce and Dick Grayson faces are always very like, they look like French models. I don't know. But I do enjoy his work, so picked those up and thought might as well, if it's bad Batman, I'll put it in the pile to be donated. If it's good Batman, I'll keep it. So tell you what, let me pause it really quick, and I'm gonna take this Superman out of the box just so we can take a look at him closer. Okay. He feels more, I don't know, rubbery than they normally do. I don't know why that is. I just love the color detail here. Most of the time pops are just flat, flat color. But I love the shading that they add to these, comic book accurate ones. You got the shading under the arm, the shading all on this side, the light sources over here, you got the shading on the cape even. And then you've got even little details like you've got brighter blue, if you can see it on this side, kind of splashed on. So I mean, a lot more work for them, I assume. I'm assuming these are kind of, more or less hand painted in the factory somewhere. And it's got the little stand so it can be floating. I like how his hair is totally Invincible's dad. Kingdom Come Superman doesn't have the stash like Omni-Man, but apart from that, it's pretty close as far as the hairstyle goes, right? So I will put this over my Commander decks because I got a He-Man with the sword over there, and a couple other knickknacks, but there's space for them. I'm sure my wife will notice the minute she walks in and give me crap, but he's cool looking. I remember when I was playing HeroClix, they had a set, I forget what it was called, but it was still when they were doing well and selling, and they had a set where they had Kingdom Come Superman, and I remember one of my friends pulled him, and he was getting into Warhammer. He wasn't really interested in the Kingdom Come Superman. And at the time, Kingdom Come Superman was in Jeff Johns' run of JSA. He had been timed to placed and he was on the team. And I am a huge JSA fan, so when I would play HeroClix, I would play the JSA like a mother. So he pulled that, and I was like, well, look, I'll buy him from you or trade you or something. And that night, we were at the comic book store when he pulled it, doing our regular, weekly games. And I went over, I took him over to the Warhammer side, and I bought him a couple, I think I bought him a vehicle, some sort of troop transport for his army, and one other thing to get him up to like $80 so that I could trade him for the Kingdom Come Superman, because that's how much he was going for at the time. He was like a, ultra super rare, whatever they were called, HeroClix figure. So I was able to take Kingdom Come Superman home and put him on my JSA squad when I was playing. That's also why I have a giant, 1.5 foot tall Spectre HeroClix, and why I have a 1.5 foot tall Fin Fang Foom HeroClix. They're actually in my house as decor because the colossal, humongous HeroClix, they look like sculptures. They're humongous. They're great looking. I have those two. I have Starro. I never got a Galactus. For anybody who knows HeroClix, every now and then they'd have an event, and I think the second year they had a event for Galactus, and I was in I got to the championship match, but the other guy beat me, so, unfortunately I did not get to take home Galactus, but, God, I was so into that game for the longest time. When that first came out, Mage Knight was the, non-comic book, WizKids property, and then they came out with Marvel HeroClix, and I remember buying a box when I was in college, honestly, just to have the little figures, and then I met some people that played, and then I was playing, every Monday night we had HeroClix League, and we would play every Monday night, and honestly, for the longest time, we had a good amount of people, but then WizKids, God, did they go bankrupt? Something happened where they majorly lost funding, and I remember they had to kind of rebuild from the bottom up. So, they still make HeroClix now, it's not near the heyday. I know like one or two guys that still play, but they don't even get together on a weekly basis anymore. So kind of sad, because that was a great time. I played basically until my daughter was born, and then my wife had been working Monday nights because I was going to HeroClix, and she couldn't really change her schedule, so I had baby duty. I couldn't make it. So eventually it passed. I still have I'd say a good amount of my HeroClix. Most of the ones I would actually play with. Um, Not too long ago, the guy who still plays regularly, he came and did some plumbing work for me, and I was like, hey, I've got all these HeroClix. Do you want them? So he took he took everything but like a Foot Locker worth that I'd kept because they were the ones I would actually see myself playing with. So in the garage, I have a Foot Locker of my HeroClix collection, in little, like little fishing or hobby plastic containers. Maybe we'll take a look at those someday. That might be an interesting video. But that was it for today, guys. I'm going to go and put him in a place of honor so he looks cool floating there. And I will see you guys next time.